Well, it's another edition of our Cuse Connection series, and the first time we sort of branch out, we got a bunch of guys on at once. Brian Higgins here. I'm in my basement in Syracuse, and we have the three returning lacrosse captains kind of spread out around the East Coast right now. The upper left corner, Peter Dearth. The lower left corner, Brendan Curry. The lower right corner right now is Jamie Trimboli. So I guess we'll start in the top left here, Peter. Where are you right now, and how are things going for you amidst the coronavirus here and being home from school?
Oh yeah, I'm at home. I've pretty much been at home and been staying at home since we got home from school. So I'm lucky, obviously, to grow up with my brothers, so they're home as well. My older brother's home from Boston. My little brother's in the same situation as me, so we're all just kind of at home. We've been, hanging out, just doing, I guess, what college kids and brothers do, and just messing around, playing video games, and like working out in my basement. And it's been relaxing for sure, and definitely a nice time that I've kind of never expected to get with my brothers and my family again. So I think it's been pretty cool for my parents, and definitely for the three of us to kind of take us back to when we were kids. So amidst all of this, it's actually been kind of nice to find a time like that with my family, and it hasn't been the worst thing. So
And home for you, Peter's Connecticut, correct?
Connecticut, yeah.
So Peter's in Connecticut. Brendan, I see you're in your car, but I'm assuming you're at home in Maryland right now.
Yeah, I am. Right outside of Towson. I'm actually parked about two neighborhoods over. I just had to finish my DoorDash run. But yeah, I've been home pretty much same as Peter just said. It's been very unexpected, but if you take some goods with the bad, and you can definitely take some good away, being with your family and getting that unexpected time, especially with your parents that, they're usually not going to get with a junior in college.
All right, we'll get into Brendan's newest career here in a second. You heard that right. He is currently delivering DoorDash. I'm going to order some crab cakes, see if we can get him up here in Syracuse, get him on the road. Jamie, you are near Rochester, I presume, right now. How are things for you back at home in Victor?
It's great, man. I'm in Victor, just hanging out, kind of relaxing. Same stuff as these guys. I'm eating my mom at a house at home, and she can't keep up with the groceries. So we're just living life, relaxing, and spending some quality time.
Let's we'll get into kind of what's going on, what you're doing now here in a bit. But Peter, I'll start with you. We can just kind of go around the circle here. Let's go back. I guess it's 7 weeks ago now, right? Maybe 8 weeks ago, where this all kind of hit. What were you guys going through, Peter, as like a captain of the team at that point? Where I think you sort of knew as that week went along that it wasn't just going to go on as normal. But how'd you guys handle that in a leadership role amongst the team once you finally found out what was happening?
Yeah, I think leading up to kind of the announcement, it was pretty tough for us, honestly, because as a leader on the team, you want to be the guy who's going to stay positive and everything. But it was coming to a point where it was pretty like naive of us to say that everything's going to be fine. So we just try to tell the team we're just going to control whatever we can control, keep working as hard as we can while it was kind of building up. And then when it got pretty obvious that things were going to happen, we were just kind of, along there with the rest of the guys, kind of just making sure they knew how much, the season meant to us and how much they all meant to us. And we didn't know what was going to happen in the future, obviously, with eligibility or anything. So we just tried to, handle it the best that we could, like I'm sure every other team did. And it was definitely tough, but we were lucky to have the team and the guys that we have to kind of get through this together. So, yeah.
Now, Peter and Jamie, they're two of the guys that got to take advantage of this. Seniors get to come back for another year. We'll get to that in a second. Brendan, you're in your car now, but how long did it take, I guess, when that week went on, when you realized, all right, it's time to hop in this thing and go back home? That we're not going to get to come back to school right now.
Yeah, I know the day when everything did get canceled, the NBA was getting shut down, the Ivy League, and all these leagues, and we practiced at 1:30. All these things kind of happened around noon. So it was definitely an eerie feeling going out to practice. Especially with the seniors, you just had that like gut wrench feeling almost that, it was going to happen. Coach Desko had a meeting in the middle of practice about it. So, after it was unexpected, and then, that day happened, it was just as much time as we could spend together as we did. We were trying to be with each other almost 24/7 for that time that this team could be back, because at that point we didn't know if we would get this team back ever again. So you kind of just have to do whatever you can to like soak in those last couple days with your best friends, and a team that I think everyone was a part of would say was one of the closest they've ever been a part of. So, you know, it was really tough. And then, you know, we got some good news that the seniors could come back. So, you know, this team will be, you know, not exactly the same, but, you know, we'll get a lot of those guys back, which is a blessing out of all of this.
And Jamie, you're one of those guys, and it's amazing how fast that week escalated, isn't it? I remember I last saw you specifically the Tuesday of that week when the Rutgers game Saturday was still on. I think, I don't know where this is going in the history books, you were the last person I've shaken hands with, Jamie. So that kind of got banished after that. So I guess we're done with that for now. But from that Tuesday where things were still at least sort of normal, what's this month plus been like where you went, okay, season's over, and then career's over, and then all of a sudden you're coming back? How do you handle a process like that where that all happened in 2 weeks until you finally got the idea you might get a chance to come back here?
Yeah. I actually remember that interview where we shook hands, and I think I recall telling you that this all wasn't something really to worry about. So I kind of feel like an idiot now having said that. But yeah, it all happened obviously so fast. It's been a whirlwind, and it was an emotional roller coaster there. But that whole week between finding out and being crushed and thinking we had only a couple of days left to spend with our best buddies, and then to find out we had our eligibility back, and that kind of put us on a high. But then ever since that, we kind of were just focused on what we need to do to get back. It was kind of a transition of flip the switch and just do whatever we can to get back. So that's kind of what we've been working on since then. Trying to stay in a little bit of shape and keep the stick in your hand as much as possible, even though it's tough with the quarantine. So just trying to make the best out of it. And we've been blessed and lucky enough to be able to make it work where most of us can get back there and kind of pick up where we left off.
And so, Jamie, I'll start with you on this. And this is really for you and Peter specifically, but how fast, when you were given, or at least the chance to come back, was the decision, yes, and then let's figure it out? Or, I mean, we saw it with Nick Mellon, and he said, you know what, I've been here 5 years, I've graduated, and it's time to move on. And I think both are equally valid choices. But how fast did you come to the yes answer that you were coming back next year?
For me, and probably for most of us, I know I'm speaking for other guys, but I think it was right away. Like as soon as we kind of heard, we were like, yep, no doubt. But obviously that's kind of unrealistic. We had to have some difficult conversations with some different people depending on the situations we were each in. And luckily for me, and I don't know the other guys' stories fully, but I talked to my parents and my boss, my future boss, and we kind of hashed things out. And I got the green light from them. And then after that, it was just a financial battle, because it's obviously not cheap to go to another year of college. So we had to work that out. And then once that was worked out, it was kind of a no-brainer. Yeah,
Peter, it's kind of the double-edged thing, right? School ain't free, and the other year comes up. And then I know a lot of you guys, Jamie just said it, you're in the middle of your senior year, and obviously the world has been thrown into chaos here, but you have interviews and maybe jobs or internships or something lined up. How did that change, I guess, Peter, your plans here as this summer was coming up, and now you got to get into grad school and do all that right now?
Yeah, I actually had to finish my undergrad still, so this whole thing was kind of like a blessing for me, because I get to like play lacrosse as well as finish school. So that was pretty nice for my family and for me specifically, just because I don't have to go back to school, just to do school. I can play lacrosse as well. So like Jamie said, it was, when the kind of conversation was going around that we might get another year back, it was, immediately like, obviously I would want to do that. And that's kind of going to be the one thing to keep us all like sane from this whole situation. But it was a lot of like logistics and a lot of figuring stuff out. We had, my family and I had like a little chart with all these like different ways that things could have gone. So, luckily it went kind of the way that I hoped it would, and couldn't be more excited to be going back.
And as Brendan has proved to us here, there are, as tough as it is to get, a job right now, the way the world is going and stuff like that, you can get a job if you're a guy like Brendan and literally working the DoorDash right now. Brendan, how'd you get into that? I didn't know it was so easy to sign up and get out there delivering food like you've been doing.
A couple of my friends actually brought it up, that they were doing it. Some of my buddies from home. So I kind of just signed up, and then, I got like the confirmation email and just kind of went and figured it out. It's pretty easy. It's a little boring when you're by yourself, but I've been listening to podcasts and stuff.
Obviously you're not, you're just getting handed a bag of food or whatever, and you bring it places. You getting any weird smells in your car or anything? You're like, oh, I want to place an order from here, or anything popped up strange so far in this new game?
when you do get a little hungry, it is tempting to look inside the bag, but I haven't taken it that far yet. Hopefully I won't get to that point.
It's gonna be a pizza that shows up that's got like a slice missing or something. Then we'll be
Yeah.
able to go back to that. But that's it. There's a lot of time here. Classes have wrapped up now. Maybe you guys have some final projects or whatever. But school's essentially over or will be within a few days here. So Jamie, how do you spend the time now? What goes through the day? I'm sure you can work out a little bit, but it's not like you can get out and get guys together to play lacrosse or anything like that right now.
Right. So for me, I've talked to my future boss. We've kind of hashed out. We're going to do a little internship here this summer as soon as it's allowed, and we can get together and just kind of get ahead of the learning curve and learn as much as I can so I can hit the ground running when I graduate for real next time. So that'll fill up a lot of my time this summer. And once coaching and I do lessons for kids, and once that can get back up and running, that'll take up a lot of time. But until then, just spending time with the family. My girlfriend's in my ear all the time. We hang out with her pretty much as much as I can. Just watching TV, Netflix, trying to have a good time.
Where was your job going to be? I assume you'll have to be doing whatever you're doing from home right now, but where were you supposed to be off to here in a month or so?
And so it's in Rochester still. It's a wealth management advising and planning firm. So we're going to do some stuff like that, and I'll learn the ropes this summer. So then next summer I can kind of get out and start working on getting some clients.
All right, so Jamie and Brendan were first-time captains this year. For Peter, this was your second go-around as a captain to this team. How, I guess, does that role still apply? There's no season going on right now, but how much do you keep in touch with the guys, try to keep everybody organized and on track for next season or whatever is next to come here when you get back together as a group?
Yeah, we actually had a Zoom call yesterday with all the incoming guys, which was pretty cool, and that's something different than I haven't done before. Last year I just kind of texted all of them and gave them my number. If you guys have any questions, whatever, feel free to reach out. But I guess with 2 years of experience now, it's just nice to have maybe a little bit more of like a blueprint than what I had previously. And obviously with Jamie and Brendan coming back, it's awesome. They did an unbelievable job of just with the team and everything, and we're a really good captain. So it's really nice for me to have them coming back this year. And I think we kind of just try to keep in touch with the team as much as we can and try to keep people accountable as much as we can. Obviously, it's still pretty far away from the season. So if guys are kind of laying low right now, it's, not the end of the world. And we just want guys to kind of ramp up as the season gets closer and, make sure that we're ready to roll when fall comes around. Cause we definitely, have to start back from square one. So we got a lot of work to do.
I guess, Brendan, what has to be tough right now is Peter's talking about ramping up in the fall. We are hitting May, and this is when the ramp up that you guys wanted all year would be happening right now. How do you handle that where we know you're sitting number one? Who knows how the season was going to go? You guys weren't the only team that had the same aspirations this year, but this was the time of the year you guys would have been getting excited for. How do you handle the emotions, I guess, of right now where I don't know if it hits more now or a month ago that it's not there this season?
Yeah. I definitely think that it was more of a shock when the season ended. I think like a month and a half removed from that day where practice got ended early and our season got ended early. So I think that initial shock kind of was there, and now we're so far removed from it that it doesn't even seem like a realistic possibility that anyone would be playing come Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm.
So at least we're not the only ones. Everyone's feeling this way, so I think that makes it a little bit easier. So that we're not the only ones that had this happen to us. But we'll use it to fuel our next year. And I think guys will come in with, we'll have a target on our back, but we kind of want that coming off what we did last season and hopefully using that momentum this season.
All right, Jamie, last lacrosse question before we get into a little rapid fire to wrap this thing up. But we've seen some player movement right now. The news recently is Michael Sowers is going to Duke, and there's some other guys out there like that. But the three of you on the screen were three of the 9 All-Americans on the team as named for the shorter part of the season this year. And all 9 of you guys are coming back next year. So throwing out the player movement, how much excitement does it give you that you showed how strong you were, albeit in a short time, and that you've got basically every part you had this year coming back next year?
It's definitely very exciting. Obviously, we know we have to start back at square one, and nothing's going to be given to us. And I've said it before, but we're not 5-0 anymore. That's kind of wiped out. Everyone's 0-0, and you got to start back up with a whole new team and build a new culture and kind of start working from day one. So we're obviously happy to have all the talent back, but talent's not going to win you games. You got to set the right fundamentals and principles in place, culture-wise from the start. So we're going to work on that when we get to campus. And we talked to the freshmen yesterday, and a good freshman class kind of always leads to a good team. So we're going to really focus on those guys, and it's going to be a tough year for them to be a freshman with all the craziness that's happened. But we're going to get them on board and ready to roll, and we're going to start working on building things as soon as we can.
All right, enough of the serious for right now. Let's get into a little rapid fire with our quarantine quick fire questions. We got 3 here. We'll sort of zip around the circle. We'll start with Peter. What are you binge watching right now?
Actually, I haven't been watching. I'm watching the Jordan documentary, but mostly playing video games.
Okay, what game are you playing?
Kind of just a little bit of everything, whatever I could find in the basement from when we were growing up.
Brendan, what are you watching?
I actually just finished Outer Banks.
Okay, that's been a popular one.
And then I'm watching the Jordan documentary as well.
Jamie?
My girlfriend and I just finished All-American. I'm a big football guy, so any show that involves football, I'm all for. And I'm still going to start the Outer Banks one pretty soon.
All right, I think I saw about a third of All-American as it was on play here in the house here in the last few weeks. Nobody said Tiger King. Is there no Tiger King fans in this group, or is that watched already?
I did watch Tiger King, but most recently it was Outer Banks. Tiger King was pretty good though.
The other two haven't. We have 2 people here that haven't seen the Tiger King.
No,
I have not seen it.
not up my alley.
Brendan, you got to shame these guys into it or something. I don't know how to. This is multiple of these in a row where the answer's been no, and I don't quite know how to deal with that. But we'll move along. I'd say for Brendan, we know the answer to this. Peter, when's the last time you've left your neighborhood?
It's been a while, honestly. Maybe just like to go out for a little walk or something. I don't even know if I have left my house more than like one time. So
that's about where. Yeah, I think I've been in my car once a week at the most. Brendan, I think we give you a pass on this question. Where do you know your next stop? Have you gotten your next DoorDash order here?
I'm not. I'm actually on pause.
Okay.
So once this is over, I'll resume and hopefully get one pretty quick.
We're actively costing Brendan money right now. We got to keep this moving. Jamie, when's the last time you've gone anywhere but a walk around the neighborhood?
I feel like I'm bringing her up with every response here, but my girlfriend lives across town. She's like 30 minutes away, so I troop there a couple times a week, and that's my extent of it. So
okay, hey, any reason to get out of the house is a good one these days. All right, weird times, and Peter, you know what? You're stuck at home here, so maybe you get into different stuff than you would have. Have you cooked anything new here in the last 2 months that's intrigued you that you wouldn't have done before?
I would say pretty much everything that we've made, because at school I kind of just make like the same recipe every night or every other night, because you just want to kind of get the food in when you're tired after practice. So my dad's been just kind of cooking up some stuff, so that's been pretty nice, honestly, for me. I just leave the dishes out, pretend I forgot to do them.
You're busted here when this comes out. Any recipes stand out as a good one?
My dad's like Slovenian, my family, so he makes us like some nice sausage and stuff like that. So it's been good.
I don't think I've eaten Slovenian. We'll have to check that out. Brendan, we know you have the food with you, but what are you making when you're at home?
I'd say my favorite thing that my family has made is homemade cinnamon rolls. Me and my youngest sister made them fresh with the dough and everything, so that was fun. She's 11, so she loved it, and they definitely tasted pretty good fresh.
There we go. That's pretty adventurous. Jamie, you got anything you've been cooking up?
I don't do much cooking, to be honest. My mom's super Italian, so she handles it all. But recently she's made, it's not Italian at all, but jambalaya, and it was actually fantastic. She made it in bulk. We had it for a couple of days there. It was in the fridge. So I've been eating that just about every meal here for the past couple of days. Pretty good stuff.
It's unfortunate we can't all go over to your house. That sounds pretty good right about now. All right, Peter, have you done anything here in the last couple of months just because you had the time that you wouldn't have done ordinarily? Is anything, new projects, new hobby, new anything that's come up?
Not really. I mean, picked up a book, I guess, more than I normally would. I have a couple books lying around the house that I should probably read more often, but I'm a pretty simple guy, so I haven't really got too adventurous.
I have also cracked the cover on my Kindle a bit more here in the last few weeks than maybe prior. Brendan, again, the fact that you are currently delivering DoorDash may be the answer to this question. But besides that, have you done anything new that you wouldn't have had time for?
Me and my dad actually built a fire pit in our backyard. Went to Lowe's, got all the stone and stuff, and laid it out. So we've been putting that to use probably, every couple days. So that's been fun. That's definitely something that we wouldn't have done without this time.
Yeah, house and yard projects way up. Jamie, you got anything?
Not really. Same old stuff. I'm listening to podcasts, getting into those a little bit, and there's some good information on those. So I'm definitely going to be listening to those even after this quarantine's done.
Any good podcast recommendation we should check out?
A couple stuff, just some career stuff I've been listening to, and some workout stuff, and obviously Joe Rogan's great. So all those stuff are good. All
right, last thing for all three, and you're actually looking all based, I can tell here, pretty good in this. Peter, when was your last haircut?
My little brother, and I actually messed around for a couple days when I first got home. So I would say like a couple weeks ago, we cut each other's hair, and it was kind of fun. Honestly, it turned out okay. So probably do it again here in a couple days.
Brendan, you're the one, you got the hat going, so I can't quite tell. When's your last one?
My hair got really long. I actually didn't cut it all season. And then my sister cut it probably 2 weeks ago. Went okay, but definitely been wearing a hat when I leave the house.
Yeah, okay. It went okay. Okay, we'll test it out. Jamie, how about you? When's the last time you got into trim here? Have you got one?
I don't do haircuts usually. I don't trust anyone to cut it because it's like the stuff you clean your plates with, the steel wool. That's the texture. So not everyone can cut it. So I got to wait till I can get it back out there and go to someone who's a professional.
We're going to have to check in with Jamie like the day before that stuff opens back up just to see what's going on there.
All right, back with more gel than you can imagine.
I'd say you're looking about the same. So it's a good 2 months. So we'll figure it out. All right, guys, hang in there, and hopefully we'll see you back in Syracuse sooner than later, and looking forward to big things out of you three again next year.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.